I'm posting this to Reddit instead of, okay, Contrapoints. Thoughts on IVP. I'm posting this to Reddit instead of Twitter, hopefully to minimize fragments being clipped out of context. Sincerest apologies to the mods. So, many leftists feel betrayed because I haven't made a video on Palestine. Do they actually want a ContraPoints video about Palestine? Will they be happy if I get in the bath and pour milk on a mannequin of Benjamin Netanyahu? No. I have posted about Gaza occasionally and have quietly given money to Palestinian aid organizations. But I think what leftists really want is for me to join their chorus of anger. They sense some hesitation on my part and are judging me very harshly on my presumed opinions. I'd rather be judged on my actual opinions, so here they are. Is Israel committing genocide in Gaza? Yes. Do I oppose it? Yes. Do I feel angry about it? Yes. I also feel a lot of other things. 1. Doom. The week after October 7th, it was clear the mood among Israeli leaders and civilians was overwhelmingly kill or be killed existential panic and unstoppable lust for revenge. It reminded me of the US after 9/11. There was no reasoning or protesting them out of it, nor was it politically feasible for the US to withdraw aid to Israel on a time frame that would make a difference. It would have required replacing most of Congress and overturning decades of bipartisan strategy and she's right. Yeah, no, she's right. Yeah. You want people to withdraw funding to Israel after their version of 9/11 is crazy. Even in the best case scenario, it would look so bad, dude. It would have taken years. So there was a sense of futility, but worse. 2. Misery. The leftist pro Palestine movement quickly decided that their primary goal was not merely opposition to the genocide, but opposition to Zionism in general. Opposition, that is, opposition to the existence of Israel as a Jewish state. And here they decide to draw the line separating decent people from genocidal fascists, which had the following consequences. I'm guessing that she watched the debate between H3 and Hassan, which also might have influenced her views on this. Yeah, for sure. But she is being based. She is being based, okay? Fuck. I'm so glad. I'm actually so glad she made this post. Holy fuck. Thank you, ContraPoints. My neoliberal queen, okay? 1. It shrunk the coalition. Zionists, the very broad. By the way, like whether or not people label the thing as a genocide or not, fuck me, dude. Like at this point, I just no longer care. But you know, the reason why I debated Ryo on it is because I know it would piss him off. Okay, that's the reason why. Anyway, 1. It shrunk the coalition. Zionist is a very broad category. Most Jews are Zionists. Anyone who supports a two-state solution is a Zionist. 2. It was politically infeasible. What is the pathway that takes us from the present situation to the dissolution of Israel as a Jewish state? I don't see how this could happen without either a total internal collapse of Israeli society or else, nuclear war. As usual, leftists have championed a doomed cause. 3. It introduced dangerous ambiguities. The vagueness of Zionism as a political Satan enables all kinds of rhetorical abuses. On the one hand, right-wing Israelis hold all the anti-Zionist protests existentially threatening and inherently anti-Semitic. On the other hand, there's a long history of anti-Semites using the term Zionist in deliberately equivocal ways, Zog, etc. Anti-Semites are happy for the opportunity to misappropriate the now popular anti-Zionist label to legitimize their agenda, and many people are not informed enough about anti-Semitism to recognize when this is happening. These problems are mutually reinforcing. Absolutely, okay? People who already have anti-Semitism in their hearts, which is practically literally everybody, okay? Listen, even Jewish people hate themselves, okay? On God, for real, okay? Every single minority hates themselves the most, okay? But I just want to say that, like, um, not you though. No, I'm anti-Semitic for sure. Okay, I do hold anti-Semitic beliefs, but the thing is that you need to recognize that you have them. Okay, you need to recognize to have them in order to be cognizant of your biases. Okay, but why society? I don't know. Okay, fuck. But the point is, is like is that people give in. Okay, they really give in to their inner anti-Semitism, That's what it is. How do you hate people you never really encounter? Oh, they're different from who I am, so I hate them. That's it. But like, I don't listen. I think that everyone to some degree has biases of different people, but a lot more people give in to their inner biases instead of listening to their inner thoughts and self-reflecting on what kind of thoughts that they have. People just want to be told what they want to believe already instead of thinking about, okay, where do my thoughts really come from? Why do I hold these thoughts? I know that I can't get rid of them, so how can I improve as a person? Because you can improve as a person without necessarily getting rid of all of your biases, because you can't. It's almost impossible to. Okay? So the thing is um I think people are using the Israel versus Palestine as a justified reason to be openly anti-Semitic while convincing themselves to that they are not anti-Semitic, right? In my opinion, if you want to be anti-Semitic, just do it out in the open, okay? Hiding it is the most cowardly decision to make, okay? Because in my opinion, I don't even have to put black people in my sentences to be racist towards black people. If I just and nor the N word, right, or any known slur. If I say hoodlum, savages, thugs, you guys know exactly who I am referring to. You guys know exactly what group of people I am referring to. Immigrants, Home Depot goers, like undocumented is, right? Like theoretically, any one of these could apply to white people too in a niche scenario, but you're appealing to people's different biases and stereotypes when you're naming off these terms because you're trying to appeal to different kinds of people's like perception of the word thugs, perception of the word like all of these things, okay? When you are saying these things, right? That's what's actually happening. So when you're saying anti-Zion, when you're saying Zionist, how are you not referring to a Jewish person, right? Sometimes, most of the time, right? Like fuck, it just is the case. And then when you bring into every single specific like Jewish like anti-Jewish stereotype, like oh Jews control the media is now equivocated to anti like Zionists control the media. Oh, Jews do this and that. Well, now it equivocates to Zionists do this and that, right? If I am no longer allowed to say black people are crime causers or whatever the fuck, right? It that gets translated now to oh, thugs are the crime causers. Savages in these neighborhoods are the crime causers, right? If that makes sense. Anyway, okay. 3 Dread. The online left has spent the last 20 months distributing hundreds of photos and videos of dead Palestinian children. The main effect of this has been to create a population of people in a constant state of blood-boiling rage with no consequential political outlet. True. Like, if they were actually effective in how they carried out their political activism, there's only so much I can critique because at least you're taking it seriously, you know? Fuck. I mean, even Stop Oil, as much of a like fucking like fucking astroturf that was, like fuck, even that was like better, right? No fuck. I mean I don't know, right? Fuck. Anyway, parents just hug their children more. They said I love you more. We wouldn't get food shops. That's actually kind of true. Actually, if I had a good upbringing and I had like a proper living or whatever, honestly, yeah, you wouldn't have food shops. I think that is true entirely. Anyway. Kind of garbage is handling and stringing the coalition, even says it was also going about design only criticize. Huh? Only goes on about dissolving Israel and only criticizing them, but doesn't condemn the 10-7 or mention of Hamas. Doesn't she say that? I'm not entirely sure. Like, oh, okay, we'll continue. Okay, we'll see. Anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism into attitudes toward Jews in general. I don't think Jews who feel isolated and worried in their current atmosphere are simply historical. I feel like she is like she's already giving so much ground as like a self-proclaimed like social democrat leftist, right? I don't know, like a social democrat liberal. I don't fucking know. Like this is already better ground than I expect. I don't think Jews who feel isolated and wearing the current are there's communal trauma and hypervigilance. Yes, there's disingenuous right-wing goals, dismissing and censoring all criticism of Israel on the pretext of fighting anti-Semitism. But there's also a valid fear of historical anti-Semitic patterns recurring, and that fear gives power to the right-wing Zionist claim that only Israel can keep the Jews safe. Does this mean Israel should not be criticized and sanctioned? Absolutely not, but it's something I don't want to risk contributing to if not outweighed by tangible benefits. I mean, she just wants people to be more politically effective, it sounds like. I approach the issue cautiously. 4. Bitterness. Much of the online left spent all of 2024. I mean, dude, I'm sorry. This still does kind of feel like a full disavow of the current left, no? Because for the left, like the way they are is like they're a lot like MAGA, right? If you're not on board with them, you're completely against them, right? If you're not on board with them, you're completely against them. If you're not on board with Queeman and J Stock's narrative about Destiny, you're fully against them. AKA Willie Mack is in the hands of Destiny. I think she knows by saying something like this, she is turning against all the lefties, no? Because their narrative is a lot like MAGA. Bitterness, much of the online left spent all of 2024 single-mindedly focusing on Palestine and the complicity of democratic politicians sending aid to Israel. This campaign had the following effects. 1. 0 Palestinian lives were saved. True. Not one fewer bomber bullet was fired by the IDF. 2. It might have slightly contributed to the re-election of Trump, guaranteeing that the U.S. will put no diplomatic pressure on Netanyahu, or at least for years, and making protests against Israel both much riskier and less effective. Trump is also incidentally a menace to me and basically everyone I care about, blah, blah, blah. None of this is the fault of Palestinians, of course, who are overwhelmingly the victims here. I hope that someday American policy will shift in their favor, and I will continue to support that cause. TLDR, I see the situation as bleak, intractable, extremely divisive, and devoid of any element that could be appropriately transformed into political entertainment. That's why I haven't made a video about it. Hopefully, it goes without saying that these are just my thoughts. I'm sure other bread tubers have different opinions. Yeah, people who hate her. I will say, like, again, like, I think this is fine. Okay, like, fuck. She never specifically just say she supports it. Okay, sorry, Akad, I have to disagree. I just don't have your standard. Okay, I think what you're asking here is a Destiny level statement where you're basically asking for what? You're basically asking for what, right? You're asking for like, oh, we have to mention how we have to mention. Sure, yes, I understand. The bar is that low. I get it. Okay, I get that the bar is that low. But we had to take these wins when we could. Okay, a leftist not fully on board with the current state of leftism. When was the last time you've seen anything like this? Period. The last time I've seen anything like this, it was Richard Hanania with MAGA. And as far as I'm concerned, I like in my opinion, I just don't see the same critiques being levied at Richard Hanania by you, right? Who should be like I don't see someone going like, oh, you should be full-throatedly like disavowing MAGA, fully disavowing, the right, fully disavowing conservatism, right? When somebody begins to show signs of slipping, you give them a hand. Okay, you give them a hand. You give ContraPoints a hand. You don't push her away and go, you should have made a better statement. Because guess what? Now the leftists might claim our back, right? Like fuck, don't let them have this. Okay, don't let them have this. If ContraPoints is gonna be our neoliberal queen, let her be our neoliberal queen, Hanania does disavow that all that now. Yeah, but people are still overly hostile to Hanania, right? From the left. And I don't think that should be where it lives and dies, okay? That's just my opinion. Yeah. Like, fuck, like, I feel like people are just a little bit too Destiny brain sometimes, Because people expect, like, you have to be fully on par with Destiny's opinion, otherwise you are somebody not even worth giving a cent to or whatever, so it's like, I'm sorry, I just don't agree with that, okay? Has someone posted about, like, ContraPoint's statement in the DGG subreddit? Because fuck, I don't know what the fuck they would say about this, to be honest. Okay, people are praising it, thank God. Okay, thank God. Okay, that's good. People are praising it. You don't need to baby her, but she should know that the hand is there when she wants to take it. Yes, dude, I'm sorry, but what do you think her friend group is? Like seriously, just consider this. What do you think ContraPoint's friend group is? Probably the most vicious pro-Palestinian lefties ever. Okay, the fact that she is even like willing to give an opinion like this out in the open as a subreddit post, like as a kind of ContraPoint's manifesto, is already like way better than anything. Like I'm sorry that my bar is that low, but it just is. Okay, like listen, I take what I can get. Okay, I'm not. I was never expecting, from a world where I was never expecting ContraPoints to give a statement like this. This is better than nothing, honestly. It doesn't mean I can't criticize the points at parts I don't like. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, but it sounds like you're the way that you come off is that it feels as though she has done a cardinal sin, you know, a cardinal sin in your opinion, where she is actively sweeping the Hamas shit under the rug. I don't think it's that. I really don't think so. You know, I have no doubt she would point it out if she could. Um, gonna be the bitch, be the whole bitch. Yeah, but like the entire essay was just disavowing the current state of leftism. Whatever, man. We can agree to disagree.